Jazz hands. Jazz hands.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please. Thank you so much.
Everybody's got their Ukrainian flags.
Speaker,
The Kunta Kinte moment. Like,
because that's the state of this union. The state of this union is in Ukraine.
Justice of the Supreme Court, my fellow Americans. Last year, COVID-19 kept us apart. This year, we're finally together again.
Well, somehow more people died during your first year than the last year, but that's a different story. Or maybe it's the same story.
We meet as Democrats.
Isn't only like one half of that room supposed to be clapping and the other half is supposed to be booing? What happened to that?
Duty to one another.
Because it's wartime.
To America, to the American people, to the Constitution.
Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to
and
Facebook.
An unwavering resolve that freedom will always triumph over tyranny. Thank you. Six days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake.
See, this is how countries falling apart when like the best thing they can do is like cheer when people are dying.
Waffle said maybe they hired some extras.
The world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength.
A mall. He went to the mall. The war mall.
You're gonna roast him every time he trips, aren't you?
Don't be the fucking president. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we did roast Donald Trump for some of the words he tripped over.
Yeah, but he also was doing horrible things.
Every Ukrainian, their fearlessness, their courage.
Biden's doing horrible things in a different way.
Literally inspires the world.
The same horrible things, just in a different way.
Yeah. Somehow more people died doing his first presidency, year of presidency. Somehow more people died from COVID.
Defending their homeland. And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, light will win over darkness. Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine. Thank you.
This kind of feels like pandering.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what America's good for. It's good for war. That's what we're good for. I just showed you the last clip. The first clip of our nation.
She's bright, she's strong, she's resolved.
Yeah, they got the good photo op there. Yeah, there's something really contrived about this. It's kind of ugly. That doesn't feel good to watch this. I know it's supposed to be a feel-good moment.
The United States of America.
It's not.
The Ukrainian people.
I mean, man, people are dying and running for their life. So
learned this lesson. When
dictators
dictators
get to talk shit about it from
our
homes.
Price for their aggression, they cause more chaos.
Yeah.
They keep moving, and the cost, the threats to the America and the America.
How many takes did they do for that hug? 5
rising.
takes.
That's why the NATO alliance was created to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II.
Even though the NATO alliance is not doing shit to help Ukraine right now,
along with
we really have old people
nations,
grabbing guns.
It matters. American diplomacy matters. American resolve matters. Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated efforts at diplomacy. He thought the West and NATO wouldn't respond. He thought he could divide us at home.
We did respond. We haven't done shit yet. Right now, it's up to Ukrainian people.
He thought he could divide us.
And the guns, some of the guns we gave them.
Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We prepared extensively and carefully. We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe and the Americas, from America to the Asian and African continent.
It's good to have Waffles back in the chat.
Like many of you, I spent countless hours unifying our European allies. We shared with the world in advance what we knew Putin was planning and precisely how we would try to falsify and justify his aggression. We countered
He's
Russia's
like, we are the
lies
kings
with
of the false flag attacks. We can't let you do that. We snitching.
The free world is holding him accountable. along with 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy.
I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a woman that should be taken off the streets. She's a crazy person.
Korea, Australia, New Zealand.
We just went to a white nationalist rally like last week.
Are inflicting pain on Russia and supporting the people.
Well, she says she's not going to abandon them.
Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been. Together,
everybody's looking. Am I supposed to stand up now? This is the most exercise any of them have gotten in a long time. You get up and sit down. Get up and sit down.
Now enforcing powerful economic sanctions.
Do those squats.
We're cutting off Russia's largest banks from the international financial system, preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble. Making $630 billion
you said it first. I didn't say anything.
We're choking Russia's access. We're choking Russia's access to technology.
I was going to say the Royal Rumble or some shit like that. WWF Royal Rumble.
For years to come. Tonight, I say to the Russian oligarchs and the corrupt
in his mouth, Royal Rumble.
Billions of dollars off this violent.
Who's going to run to the ring now?
War. The United States.
Royal marbles in his mouth.
So cozy, Boston. He's coming.
The United States Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets.
It's funny, the oligarchs are now starting to turn on Putin. They're like, yo, you fucking with our money.
Tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy. He has no idea what's coming. The ruble has already lost 30% of its value. The Russian stock market has lost 40% of its value, and trading remains suspended. The Russian economy is reeling, and Putin alone is the one to blame.
It depends on what kind of streamers you're talking about, Zelwood. Depends on what website you're on.
In their fight for freedom. Military assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine, and we'll continue to aid the Ukrainian people as they defend.
I'm gonna leave this alone because right now.
Let it rock. Let it rock. Let it go. Let it go.
$1 billion to Ukraine. Meanwhile, they can't. They're closing schools and like. So whatever.
But let me be clear.
That's what America's good at. We're good at war.
They're also good. They're good at getting up from seats and then sitting back down again.
Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. For that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO.
Can I get my bunker ready? Because that sounds not
Romania,
good.
Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear, the United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective
Waffle
power.
says we can't get our own house in order first, though. Nope. We go fuck up somebody else's house if you're more.
Yo, none of the generals are clapping.
The Mastiff, are they fucking holograms?
Clear eyes. Fighting back with pure courage. But the next few days, weeks, and months will be hard on them. Putin has unleashed violence and chaos.
Zelwood said, what better way to unite y'all than with a clear enemy? Pat yourselves on the back for economically canceling the right people.
Ukrainian people.
Not Jeff Bezos.
People, pound for pound.
No, not him.
Fight with every inch of energy they have.
This weird Russian oligarchs.
Known 30 years of independence. Have repeatedly
and they are weird too.
That they will not tolerate anyone who tries to take their country back.
How you look that nondescript and be worth $12 billion? I don't understand that.
I promised I would be. A Russian dictator of
the clapbox broke and need to be rebooted.
Around the world. And I'm taking robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at Russian economy, and that we use every tool at our disposal to protect American businesses.
And you know who that hurts? The Russian people who don't agree with the invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah, because Russian oligarchs, they can just go somewhere else with their money. That's the point. Their money's not in Russia. Their money's somewhere else.
But now they're saying that they're trying to freeze their money wherever else it is. They're trying to freeze access to those assets, which is why they're starting to now break ranks.
United with our allies. These steps will help blunt gas prices here at home. But I know news about what's happening.
I don't get any of your talking points for why America is even front and center in this discussion. Yeah, I think the reason why is because the United States is like 90% of NATO. The United States is 90% of NATO. Let's just be real.
And the rest of the world stronger. Well,
Russians are protesting, but they're being arrested by the thousands right now.
Yeah, they've been arrested. They're just scooping them up.
Thousands of people arrested.
Well, it shouldn't have taken something so terrible for people around the world to see what's at stake. Now everyone sees it clearly. We see the unity among leaders.
Damn, the speech is long about Russia.
A more unified Europe. A more unified
Remember, it's about pandering.
We see unity among the people.
Yeah, Waffles. I kind of expect the Keystone Pipeline to get reinstated because it is the perfect excuse to do so.
People of Ukraine. In the battle
he has to get to inflation first. He has to get to that topic.
We're
going to inflate the Keystone Pipeline.
Choosing the side of peace and security.
All the pipelines.
This is the real.
Let's get them going. And tear down the red mills.
So let us continue to draw inspiration from the iron will of the Ukrainian people. To our fellow Ukrainian Americans who forged a deep bond that connects our two nations, we stand with you. We stand with you. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish their love of freedom, and he will never weaken the resolve of the free world.
The funny thing is, a lot of Russian people aren't with him. I think over 90% of Russian people are opposed to what Putin's doing.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get elected? Everyone got locked up. That's how you got elected.
In an America that has lived through.
Yeah, he voted for himself. The end.
For the past 20 years, he's just been voting for himself.
And so many families are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to keep up with the rising cost of food, gas, housing, and so much more. I understand, like many of you did. My dad had to leave his home in Scranton, Pennsylvania to find work. So like many of you, I grew up in a family when the price of food went up, it was felt throughout the family. It had an impact. That's when one of the first things I did as president was fight to pass the American Rescue Plan. Because people were hurting. We needed to act, and we did. Few pieces of legislation have done more at a critical moment in our history to lift us out of a crisis. Efforts to vaccinate the nation and combat
it's easy to say what they should or shouldn't do.
Immediate economic relief to tens of millions of Americans.
Well, we're in 1954. Puerto Rican nationalists stormed the Capitol, shot a bunch of people.
To get a box of food.
1954. That actually happened today. In 1954.
Cut the cost of health care insurance.
But that's for a different reason. Because Puerto Rico is being held by colonizing force, so being taxed heavily.
Unlike the $2 trillion tax cut passed in the previous administration, that benefited the top 1% of Americans. The American Rescue Plan. The American Rescue Plan helped working people and left no one behind.
There are a lot of people behind, Joe.
A lot of people behind.
Blind Bat said, "Can we all just get along?"
No, that doesn't make any money.
Well, that's true. That's true. You have a flagging economy. Start a war.
Arsenio Hall. Who the fuck is hooting?
Our economy created over
It wasn't me.
5 million new jobs just last year. More jobs in 1 year than ever before in the history of the United States of America.
That means nothing.
The economy grew at a rate of 5.7 last year.
8,000 an hour.
40 years. And the first step in bringing fundamental change to our economy that hasn't worked for working people in this nation for too long. For the past 40 years, we were told the tax break for those at the top and benefits would trickle down and everyone would.
Oh, okay, this is nice. You're saying don't get pissed in your head. That doesn't work.
Economic growth, lower wages, bigger deficits.
It's not rain.
Widening gap between the top and everyone else.
I mean, I feel it's refreshing that a president saying that. I guess.
Look, Vice President Harris and I ran for office and I realize we have fundamental disagreements on this, but ran for office with a new economic vision for America. Invest in America, educate Americans, grow the workforce, build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down, because we know.
Waffle says, here's $14,000. Have fun for the next 2 years.
Oh, is that $1,400? Imagine if it was 14,000.
When the middle class grows, the poor will way up and the wealthy do very well.
What?
America used to have the best roads, bridges, and airports on earth. And now our infrastructure is ranked 13th in the world. We won't be able to compete for the jobs of the 21st century if we don't fix it. That's why it was so important to pass the bipartisan infrastructure law. And I thank my Republican friends who joined to invest, rebuild America.
So in 20 years,
the biggest investment.
You can cross the bridge, they won't fall.
It was a bipartisan effort. I want to thank the members of both parties who worked to make it.
It's good to see you, Blind Bat. It's good to see you.
We're done talking about infrastructure weeks. We're now talking about an infrastructure decade. And look, it's going to transform America, to put us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with the rest of the world, particularly China. I've told Xi Jinping it's never been a good bet to bet against the American people. We'll create good jobs for millions of Americans, modernizing roads, airports, ports, waterways, all across America. And we'll do it to withstand the devastating effects of climate change and promote environmental justice. We'll build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Begin to replace the poisonous lead pipes so every child, every American has clean water to drink at home and at school.
Oh, shit.
We're going to provide affordable, high-speed internet for every American, rural, suburban, urban, and tribal communities. 4,000 projects have already been announced. Many of you have announced them in your districts. And tonight, I'm announcing that this year, we will start fixing over 65,000 miles of highway.
Waffles, you need a nice overpass. You can be homeless underneath.
You're such an asshole.
When we use taxpayers' dollars to rebuild America,
with those bright LED lights,
we're going to do it.
Keep you up at night.
America. Buy American products.
Nope, no Waffle, they didn't. They didn't do shit for Flint, Michigan. They still got fucking yellow water coming out of the faucets.
Safe and secure. There's been a law on the books for almost a century to make sure taxpayers' dollars support American jobs and businesses.
Yeah, so is that what this
every administration, Democrat and Republican,
reported?
Do it.
This put in a thing in 2017. A federal judge approved a settlement under which the state of Michigan agreed to spend nearly $100 million to replace all Flint steel and galvanized service lines in 3 years. The pipe replacement program is 2 years behind schedule, but expected to be completed this year. So somehow, someone got paid $100 million, and people are still drinking shitty water. So.
To compete for the jobs.
Yep, that's very American.
We also need a level playing field with China and other competitors.
Did you see Waffle's comment?
So to pass the bipartisan innovation.
That sounds like a poetic book wrote in like the 1800s.
Record investments in emerging technologies and American manufacturing. We used to invest almost 2% of our GDP in research and development. We don't now. China is. Let me give you one example why it's so important to pass. If you travel 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find 1,000 empty acres of land.
Yeah, because LeBron James is not there anymore.
If you stop and look closely, you'll see a field of dreams, the ground on which America's future will be built. That's where Intel, the American company that helped build Silicon Valley, is going to build a $20 billion semiconductor megasite. Up to 8 state-of-the-art factories in one place, 10,000 new jobs, And in those factories, the average job about $135,000 a year. Some of the most sophisticated
talk numbers. Don't talk about how many jobs.
Averages. Yeah, don't tell me about averages. 135,000. That's because the top 20 people are each making over $1 million. I don't want to. Oh, the average. Fuck your average.
But that's just the beginning.
Talk to me about what the minimum wage is,
Pat Gelsinger,
and then we can talk.
Who's here tonight? I don't know where Pat is. Pat, there you go. Pat, stand up.
Now they're clapping at Pat.
Clapping at Pat.
Pat came to see me, and he told me they're ready to increase their investment from $20 billion to $100 billion. That would be the biggest investment in manufacturing in American history. And all they're waiting for is for you to pass this bill.
She's mad emotional.
Send it to my
with
desk,
that signing.
Sign it, and we'll really take off in a big way. And folks, Intel is not alone. There's something happening in America. Just look around and you'll see an amazing story. The rebirth of pride that comes from stamping products made in America. The revitalization of American manufacturing. Companies are choosing to build new factories here when just a few years ago they would have gone overseas. That's what's happening. Ford is investing $11 billion in electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. GM is making the largest investment in its history. $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan. All told, 369,000 new manufacturing jobs were created in America last year alone. Folks.
So this is how they earn their $180,000 a year. They get up and then they sit down. And then they get up.
People I've met like Joe
and then they sit down.
From generations of union steelworkers in Pittsburgh, who's here tonight. Where are you, JoJo?
JoJo. It's a fucking monkey.
As Ohio.
KC and JoJo.
As Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown says.
Someone like you.
And Sherrod Brown says it's time to bury the label Rust Belt. It's time to see the what used to be called a Rust Belt become the home of a significant resurgence of manufacturing. And with all the bright spots in our economy,
I think he just made himself a meme
job
again.
Growth, higher wages. Too many families are struggling to keep up with their bills. Inflation is robbing them of gains.
JoJo.
I get it. That's why my top priority is getting prices under control. Look, our economy roared back faster than almost anyone predicted. But the pandemic meant that businesses
like killing mad people in the process.
Time hiring enough people because of the pandemic to keep up production in their factories. So you didn't have people making those beams that went into buildings because they were out.
Oh, I said beams. I said beans.
Closed.
Making those beans.
Panic also picked up with the global supply chain. Factories closed. When that happens, it takes longer.
That sounds like poverty, yo.
Get them to the warehouses, to the stores. And
Zelwood said, if you just promise cheap video cards, I'm all in. Yeah, give me a 3090. Give me that RTX 3090, man.
There weren't enough semiconductors to make all the cars. That
put a touch screen in my car because they didn't come with one. No semiconductor.
Went way up, especially used vehicles as well. And so we have a choice. One way to fight inflation is to drive down wages and make Americans poorer. I think I have a better idea to fight inflation. Lower your costs, not your wages. Folks.
What? That didn't make any sense. You lower costs by lowering wages in the United States.
That means make more cars and semiconductors in America. More infrastructure and innovation in America. More goods moving faster and cheaper in America. More jobs where you can earn a good living in America. Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America. Look,
Oh, now they got the chant going. Awesome.
Economists.
Last time I heard that Osama bin Laden was killed.
Call this increasing the productive.
Last time I heard that was at a sporting event.
I call it building a better America. My plan to fight
Zealot said, no, wait. Come back and make your cars in Canada. Promise we will shut down the border again.
17 Nobel laureates in economics.
I mean, that was
said my
fake,
plan will ease long-term inflation.
Fakest protest I've ever seen in my life.
Top business leaders.
That's another discussion.
And I believe most Americans support it.
It's over now, anyways. It's like it never happened.
First,
so
cut the cost of prescription drugs. We pay more for the same drug produced by the same company in America than any other country in the world. Just look at insulin. 1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. In Virginia, I met a 13-year-old boy, the handsome young man standing up there, Joshua Davis.
Well, you could have healthier food and encourage people to move more.
Diabetes, which means they need insulin.
I gave him a handful of gummy bears.
And pat him on the head.
The pharmaceutical company. But drug companies charge families like Joshua and his dad up to 30 times that amount. I spoke with Joshua's mom. Imagine what it's like to look at your child who needs insulin to stay healthy and have no idea how in God's name you're going to be able to pay for it.
You gotta go to Messiah.
Well, I expect that I'm doing a lot of, okay, what's your policy proposal for that? Yeah, I mean, that's that. He's like, lower your costs, not the wages. What?
It's getting up, clapping, and sitting down, and then voting no against everything. That's what. That's
a policy decision.
Happy birthday. For Joshua and 200,000 other young people with type 1 diabetes.
Why do they make that little boy look like an old white man? let him be a young white man for a little while before he becomes an old white man.
And drug companies will do very, very well. Their profit margins. While we're at it, I know we have great disagreements on this floor with this. Let's let Medicare negotiate the price of prescription drugs.
Prescription jugs?
They already
like moonshine.
set the price for VA drugs. Look, the American Rescue Plan is helping millions of families with Affordable Care Act plans to save them $2,400 a year on their health premiums. Let's close the coverage gap and make these savings permanent. And second, let's cut energy costs for families. An average of $500 a year by
drugs that you blow into.
Provide your business to be energy efficient and get a tax credit for it. Double America's clean energy production in solar, wind, and so much more. Lower the price of electric vehicles, saving another $80 a month that you're not going to have to pay at the pump. Folks, the third thing we can do to change the standard of living for hardworking folks is cut the cost of child care. Cut the cost of child care.
The way to cut it is to have Burger King hire people, hire 9-year-olds for $7 an hour.
If you live in
or how about we raise wages so that the man can work and the woman can take care of the kids, and then like the kids are actually being cared for by people that actually care about them, not by some rando that's being underpaid and overworked. How about that? Nah, that's too difficult.
We help, but middle class and working folks shouldn't have to pay more than 7% of their income to care for the young children. My plan.
Yo, Waffle, again, let's encourage people to be healthy, so they don't get diabetes and don't need prescription jugs.
And help parents, including millions of women who left the workforce during the pandemic because they couldn't afford childcare.
But that's what happens if you're for-profit. Healthcare system is about being sick. That makes money.
There, it also improves long-term care, more affordable housing, pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. All these will lower costs to families. And under my plan, nobody.
So you can work your 5 jobs way easier.
Earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny.
Yeah, but we're going to dig through every single time somebody gave you $40 because they felt sad for you.
My guess is if we took a simple ballot on this floor, that we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair.
So we're going to investigate all the poor people to make sure they're not getting any extra money off the books.
Start paying their fair share. Look, last year, like Chris Coons and Tom Carper and my distinguished Congresswoman, we come from the land of corporate America. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every
I would not.
America combined.
Zelwood, I wouldn't rely on the average hourly earnings. When you got people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk making hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour.
Yeah, that's the thing. The income equality is so crazy that, like, you know, it screws.
Yeah, the average actually looks decent. When a lot of that money, a lot of that is the higher side of average is covered by very few people.
That's why in the G7 and other meetings overseas, I was able to be somewhat helpful. 130 countries agree on a global minimum tax rate. So companies can't get out of paying their taxes at home by shipping jobs in factories overseas.
But the IRS, like they like to investigate poor middle class people. They go on.
Yeah, because it's easier because they don't have lawyers.
Who pay a lower tax rate than a teacher and a firefighter. So that's my plan. But we'll go in more detail later. We will grow the economy, lower the cost of family.
She's signing with a lot of swagger.
So what are we waiting for? Let's get this done. We all know we've got to make changes.
It is not going to get done.
Yeah, it just sounds like a bunch of empty platitudes, but I didn't hear anything about a bill on the table. There's nothing sponsored.
Confirm my nominees for the Federal Reserve, which plays a critical role in fighting inflation. My plan will not only lower costs and give families a fair shot, it will lower the deficit. The previous administration not only ballooned the deficit.
Linked news articles were even saying Rotten Ronnies
undermined the
increased their wages, basic supply and demand. Yeah, I think Target said in some areas they've raised their minimum wage to $24 an hour.
How much money was being
I don't know which jobs they're talking about, but
yeah, but what it took people like saying "fuck this job" and getting the fuck out of there for the past year.
Stole billions of relief money meant for
like the IHOP. Remember we covered the IHOP when people just walked out.
Motherfuckers started cooking their own food.
That's what it took. It wasn't this magical all of a sudden.
Look.
Rich people are like, oh, we need to pay these people. No, it took people saying, fuck that, getting the fuck out of there.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I think we all agree.
Not taking unemployment.
By the end of this year, the deficit will be down to less than.
Because when you quit, you can't get unemployment. So,
the only president ever to cut the deficit by more than $1 trillion in a single year.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Waffles.
Demanding more competition. I'm a capitalist, but capitalism without competition is not capitalism.
I've been saying that for years.
It's exploitation.
Like slavery.
Drives up profits.
Just help build this country.
I can't believe he actually said something coherent that I agreed with. That makes sense. Good job, Joe.
But he's a capitalist. He's a billionaire. So, you know.
Small businesses and family farmers and ranchers. I need not tell some of my Republican friends from those states.
I mean, he was senator of Delaware, which is known as the credit card state. All the credit card companies have companies reside in Delaware. So, we didn't go Joe Biden's story.
A hell of a lot more because there's only 4. See what's happening with ocean carriers moving goods in and out of America during the pandemic.
I don't think McConnell gets up and stands, not because he doesn't support what he's saying, but he's too old.
By as much as 1,000%.
If you're not young enough to stand and clap, you probably shouldn't still be running the government. Just saying.
Overcharging American businesses and consumers. Folks.
I mean, if you think you're a capitalist, go ahead and keep daydreaming about stuff. So
yeah, everything he said tonight is daydreams. Besides, nerfing Russia's economy, that was the only thing that he actually had concrete numbers on.
Medicare is going to set higher standards for nursing homes and make sure your loved ones get the care they deserve and that they inspect and they will look at closely.
And not just leaving old people in the hallway so they can die.
Keep the economy going strong and giving workers a fair shot. Provide more training and apprenticeships. Hire them based on skills, not just their degrees. Let's pass the Paycheck Fairness Act and paid leave. Raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour and extend the child tax credit so no one has to raise a family in poverty. Let's increase Pell Grants, increase our historic support for HBCUs, and invest in what Jill, our First Lady who teaches
who's whooping like that in the background?
Community colleges. Look, let's pass the PRO Act. When a majority of workers want to form a union, they shouldn't be able to be stopped. When we invest in our workers and we build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out together, we can do something we haven't done in a long time. Build a better America. For more than 2 years, COVID has impacted every decision in our lives and the life of this nation. And I know you're tired, frustrated, and exhausted.
I'm going to announce no one has to wear a mask anymore.
People who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and look at an empty chair because they lost somebody. But I also know this.
You're going to keep losing people because we're opening it up.
Because of your resilience.
You lose your whole family now because we got to get the economy going.
That we have been provided by this Congress. Tonight I can say we're moving forward safely back to a more normal
fuck out of here. This is safely?
We've reached a new moment in the fight against COVID-19 where severe cases are down to a level not seen since July of last year. Just a few days ago, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention issued a new mask guidelines. Under the new guidelines, most Americans and most of the country can now go mask-free. And based on projections, more of the country will reach a point across the next couple of weeks. And thanks to the progress we've made in the past year, COVID-19 no longer need control our lives. I know some are talking about living with COVID-19, but tonight I say that we never will just accept living with COVID-19. We'll continue to combat the virus.
You won't be living because you'll be dead.
Diseases. Because
or
this
just have long
virus
COVID or
mutates
something like
and spreads, we have to stay on guard. And here are 4 common sense steps as we move forward safely, in my view.
Always hear these steps.
First, stay protected with vaccines and treatments. We know how incredibly effective vaccines are.
Yeah, exactly. Disabled people, immunocompromised people, your ass is out on your own, boy.
We'll never give up on vaccinating more Americans.
You got a blood clot issue, but it'll stay in your house for the rest of your life.
Are eager to see their vaccines authorized for their children. Scientists are working hard to get that done. We'll be ready with plenty of vaccines if and when they do. We're all ready. We are also ready with antiviral treatments. If you get COVID-19, the Pfizer pill reduces your chances of ending up in the hospital by 90%. I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world has.
Yeah, that's not a great soundbite, Joe. Just saying. I've ordered more pills for my son.
So people can get tested at a pharmacy.
Joe Biden know about those bills.
Receive the antiviral pills on the spot at no cost. Folks,
they're gonna do everything around the sun except for universal health care.
If you're immunocompromised or have some other vulnerability, we have treatments and free high-quality masks. We're leaving no one behind or ignoring anyone's needs as we move forward. On testing, we've made hundreds of millions of tests available, and you can order them for free to your doorstep. And we've already ordered free tests. If you already ordered free tests tonight, I'm announcing you can order another group of tests. Go to covidtest.gov starting next week, and you can get more tests. Second, we must prepare for new variants. Over the past, we've gotten much better at detecting new variants. If necessary, we'll be able to develop new vaccines within 100 days instead of maybe months or years. And if Congress provides the funds we need, we'll have new stockpiles of tests, masks, pills ready.
Death on the installment plan is going hard in the chat right now.
But I can't promise you we'll do everything within our power to be ready if it does. Third,
he literally said, wear a mask, beat it. That's what he said to, like, compromise people. That's it. Just wear a mask and good luck, boy. Good luck, buddy.
It's time for America to get back to work and fill our great downtowns again with people. People working from home can feel safe and begin to return to their offices. We're doing that here in the federal government.
Motherfuckers don't want to do that. They want to stay their ass at home. Fuck out of here.
What weirdo? Oh, I can't wait to go into a corny ass cubicle office.
Our kids need to be in
school. Deal with people I don't like. Fuck out of here.
This is all for the bosses. This is not for working people.
With 75% of adult Americans fully vaccinated.
75%?
Hospitalization is down by 77%. Most Americans can remove their masks and stay in the classroom and move forward safely. We achieved this because we provided free vaccines, treatments, tests, and masks. Of course, continuing this costs money. So I'll not surprise you. I'll be back to see you all. And I'm going to soon send a request to Congress. The vast majority of Americans had used these tools and may want again. We may need them again. So I expect Congress, and I hope you'll pass that quickly.
No.
Fourth, we'll continue vaccinating the world. We've sent 475 million vaccine doses to 112 countries.
Apparently, Europe do away more vaccines than
we won't stop.
More vaccines than what actually can vaccinate Africa. The whole
you can't build a wall high enough to keep out.
Like a month
Some
ago.
countries figured out that the vaccines were made in the U.S. and then sent them back.
The spread of these diseases. You know, we've lost so much.
Like, we want the Russian one that doesn't work. We don't like the United States, so
worst of all, the much loss.
We're gonna let our people die of the Rona.
Let's use this moment to reset. So stop looking at COVID as a partisan dividing line. See it for what it is, a god-awful disease. Let's stop seeing each other as enemies and start seeing each other for who we are, fellow Americans. Look.
Any fun motherfuckers are not getting enough of this. Fuck that. I'm not a fellow American. I love Putin. I love Putin.
I like pudding.
We can't change how divided we've been. It was a long time in coming. But we can change how to move forward on COVID-19 and other issues that we must face together. I recently visited New York City Police Department days after the funerals of Officer Wilbur Mora and his partner, Officer Jason Rivera. They were responding to a 9/11 call when a man shot and killed them with a stolen gun. Officer Moore was 27 years old. Officer Rivera was 22 years old. Both Dominican Americans who grew up in the same streets that they later chose to patrol as police officers. I spoke with their families, and I told them that we were forever in debt for their sacrifices and will carry on their mission to restore the trust and safety of every community.
Yeah, that sounds like lip service to me, but
like some of you that have been around for a while. I've worked with you on these issues for a long time.
Really? The United States has more police, a bigger police budget than the fucking Ukrainian military budget. What the fuck? How many cops do we need in this country? That's not the problem. This is a tired-ass argument, yo.
Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. Let's come together and protect our communities.
You can Google it. The military budget in Ukraine is smaller than the police budgets of all the police budgets put together in the United States. It's smaller.
Cameras, ban chokeholds.
That's why they have old men grabbing cardboard AK-47s.
That you all provided $350 billion that cities, states, and counties can use to hire more police, invest in more proven strategies.
$350 billion.
Proven strategies like community violence interruption, trusted messengers, breaking the cycle of violence and trauma, and giving young people some hope. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them.
And close the schools, close the hospitals. Have the roads all fucked up. Just give all the cops the money. That's what we need to do in America.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to have a bunch of cops. They're going to all be standing in all the windows like that last scene in Matrix Revolutions. All the Agent Smiths.
Assembled at home. No serial numbers. Can't be traced. I asked Congress to pass proven measures to reduce gun violence. Pass universal background checks. Why should anyone on the terrorist list be able to purchase a weapon? Why?
What?
Why?
What are you talking about?
That didn't even make sense.
The terrorist list. Nigga, is this some dude buying a gun for some weird motherfucker in the corner of Flatbush and Ocean Avenue?
You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests? Look, repeal the liability shield. It makes gun manufacturers the only industry in America that can't be sued. The only one.
Well, Remington just paid out a settlement.
I mean,
these laws
the gun culture is so horrible in this country that Mexico government is suing gun companies.
The most fundamental right in America is the right to vote and have it counted. And look, it's under assault. In state after state, new laws have been passed. Not only to suppress the vote, we've been there before, but to subvert the entire election. You can't let this happen. Tonight, I call on the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act, pass the John Lewis Act, Voting Rights Act. And while you're at it, pass the disclosure.
Yeah, they're not putting the camera on all the people not standing.
Racist motherfuckers.
I like to honor someone who dedicated.
How you not stand up for John Lewis, you fucking bigot
Justice
motherfucker?
Breyer, an Army veteran, constitutional scholar, retiring Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Justice Breyer, thank you for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. Get up, stand, let them see you. Thank you.
Why are you making me get up?
I'm retiring, motherfucker.
We all know, no matter what your ideology, we all know one of the most serious constitutional responsibility a president has is nominating someone.
I don't think you've been following the news at all, Waffles. So that's a misinformed opinion about voting rights. You know what's happening in Texas and Florida, Pennsylvania,
Circuit Court of Appeals,
Michigan,
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Some crazy shit. They're like gerrymandering the sheriff districts.
Top legal minds.
Yeah, another thing too, they tried to change a bunch of voting laws to make them extremely more restrictive after Joe won the election, because Joe won the election. So
and then you see people waiting in line in the fucking rain for fucking a whole day.
Now they want to make it a crime to give people waiting in line a bottle of water.
She's a consensus builder. Since she's been nominated, she's received a broad range of support, including the Fraternal Order of Police and former judges supported by Democrats and Republicans. Folks, if we're to advance liberty and justice, we need to
you need to receive the stocks for the defense contractors, defense companies right now. See how their stocks are doing right now.
More police. You got the right wingers up for that one.
Yeah. We locking up black people.
That's got up where they could put the camera on them now.
Yes, I think we can do both. At our border, we've installed new technology like scanners to better detect drug smuggling.
You know it's not drug smuggling. You know it's a mom running with their baby. That's what's going to be detected.
We're putting in place dedicated immigration judges in significant larger number, so families fleeing persecution and violence can have their cases heard faster, and those who don't legitimately hear can be sent back.
Yeah, and Waffles in other states, they want to just make it illegal, period, for anybody to give bottles of water to people standing in line. Mostly in the southern states where the temperatures can get really hot.
Immigrants to this land. My forebears and many of yours.
Yeah, he's in office. He's not doing shit about it. You see, not helping. He easily be like, I can stop this. He's like, no, he's not. He's letting two weirdos in the Democratic Party fuck shit up.
Yeah, Georgia and Florida want to make it illegal for anybody to give anything to anyone while they're standing in line waiting to vote. That means old people, disabled people. But you already said that they're going to make sure disabled people don't live anymore. So maybe that's a moot point.
Get it done once and for all.
It all comes together at the end,
folks.
Yeah, Waffles, you don't really understand the issue of what's going on in the South.
Advancing liberty.
You don't understand it at all.
Protecting the rights of women. The constitutional right affirmed by
This is a law that John Lewis is trying to pass. The same John Lewis who got beat up on Edmonton on a bridge named after a Klan Grand Knight, Grand Wizard, whatever the fuck term that they call it. Yeah, he's been trying to pass this voting rights law for a long time. It's in continuity. It's been before Joe Biden. It's even before Trump that they've been trying to pass these laws. So it's not this out of nowhere that this has been happening.
But Joe winning the election kicked that into high gear.
Yeah.
The onslaught of state laws targeting transgender Americans and their families. It's simply wrong. And I said last year, especially to our younger transgender Americans, I'll always have your back as your president so you can be yourself and reach your God-given potential. Folks, as I've just demonstrated, while it often appears we do not agree, and that.
Thank you, Mr. Gana, for sharing the stream.
I signed 80 bipartisan bills into law last year, from preventing government shutdowns, protecting Asian Americans from still too common hate crimes, to reforming military justice. And we'll
how do you text someone after they get beat up? I don't understand what that means.
3 decades ago. It's important. It's important for us to show the nation.
What do you say about hate crimes against black people? Do you say anything about that?
They just finally passed the lynching law, anti-lynching law they've been trying to pass for fucking almost 90 years. They finally passed it.
Epidemic.
Oh wow, that's progress.
There's so much we can do.
How is he still standing?
Increase funding for prevention.
This has to be a recording. It's a deep fake.
Yeah, I mean, he did a press conference that was like fucking 3 hours long, like last month.
That stopped doctors prescribing treatments. Stop the flow of illicit drugs by working with state and local law enforcement to go after the traffickers. And if you're suffering from addiction, you should know you're not alone. I believe in recovery, and I celebrate the 23 million Americans in recovery. Second,
that's why we're giving the cops more money so they can arrest people who don't go in recovery.
Especially among our children.
So Triple B does not mean Build Back Better. It means Bezos is Biden bot. Okay.
I like that.
Gave schools money to hire teachers and help students make up for lost learning. I urge every parent to make sure your school does just that. They have the money. We can all play a part. Sign up to be a tutor or a mentor. Children were also struggling before the pandemic, bullying, violence, trauma, and the harms of social media. As Frances Haugen, who is here tonight with us, has shown, we must hold social media platforms accountable for the national experiment they're conducting on our children for profit.
I mean, this country hasn't done shit. I mean, Europe actually fines Facebook billions of dollars. Europe is actually going after these companies.
It's really more like millions of dollars. They don't really fine them enough for it to really impact them very much at all.
No, I mean billions. I mean, Facebook's been fined a lot of money.
Ban targeted advertising to children. Demand tech companies stop collecting
to the point that Facebook is threatened to stop working in Europe.
Get all Americans. The mental health services.
How about stop collecting personal data on everybody? How about that?
I mean, that's because it's not a unified front. In America, we just allow social media companies to just read our brainwaves at this point. So,
look, the third piece of that agenda is support our veterans.
Instead of just paying fucking lip service.
And the spine.
We have like the highest suicide rate. That's so disturbing that, it should be.
I've always believed
it's disturbing.
Yep.
We have a sacred obligation to equip those we send to war and care for those in their family when they come home. My administration is providing assistance in job training, housing, and now helping lower-income veterans get VA care debt-free.
Lower-income veterans is like the worst term I've ever heard in my life.
Face many dangers. One being stationed at bases, breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits.
That's really happening right now. Lower-income veterans.
Yeah, but the worst thing that happened to them is Kaepernick taking a knee. Okay.
40 times.
Yeah, okay.
It's crazy.
These burn pits that incinerate waste, the waste of war, medical and hazardous material, jet fuel, and so much more. And they come home. Many of the world's fittest and best trained warriors in the world. Never the same. Headaches, numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag-draped coffin. I know.
So let's send them to Ukraine and do the same thing over again. Let's do that.
One of those soldiers was my son, Major Bo Biden.
Oh.
I don't know for sure if the burn pit that he lived near, that his hooch was near, in Iraq and
those burn pits are an issue. We reported that on Black Power Magic Hour last year.
Yeah, we reported about shit about it. It's fucking crazy.
Out everything we can, committed to military families like Danielle Robinson from Ohio, the widow of Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson. He was born a soldier.
Waffles makes a good point. As soon as you make $1 over the poverty threshold, it's every man for themselves.
And depending where you are, the poverty threshold can be like fucking non-existent amount of money. Like in New York City, you need to be making like nothing to do the poverty threshold, like less than like $14,000 or some shit like that. You can't exist. I mean, in this reality,
it's 30,000. It's 30,000, but in New York, 30,000 might as well be 14,000.
And he loved building Legos with their daughter. But cancer from prolonged exposure to burn pits ravaged Heath's lungs and body. Danielle says Heath was a fighter to the very end. He didn't know how to stop fighting, and neither did she. Through her pain, she found purpose to demand that we do better. Tonight, Danielle, we are going to do better. The VA.
Tonight, we're going to do better
the VA is
by paying you more lip service.
Toxic exposure to disease, already helping more veterans get benefits.
Universal health care, bro. What the fuck is going on here?
Waffles, I don't think anybody in this country cares about vets. It's not limited to Joe Biden.
Devastated by toxic exposure in Iraq and Afghanistan. Finally get the
you remember Hobo Ops, right, Messiah? Don't look at him.
It is well known. And that was the way to laugh at something really dark.
Yeah.
Why would you don't give a shit about mentally ill veterans being homeless?
Nope.
Let's end cancer as we know it.
Well, they took my ear.
This is personal.
That was the second time I said that today.
This is personal to me and to Jill and to Kamala and so many of you.
You ever heard of Dog and Pony Show? That's what this is.
Son, daughter, mom, dad. Cancer is the #2 cause of death in America. Second.
I think it's like a cancer initiative to cure
cancer. I announced
cancer.
the plan to supercharge the cancer moonshot that President Obama asked me to lead 6 years ago. Our goal is to cut cancer death rates by at least 50% over the next 25 years. And I think we can do better than that. Turn cancers from death sentences into treatable diseases. More support for patients and their families. To get there, I call on Congress to fund what I called ARPA-H, Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health.
So the same thing that happened in the COVID vaccine. The government is going to figure it out, and then private companies are going to make money off of it.
To the internet, GPS, and so much more to make our forces.
Yeah, we just got to get the profit mongering out of healthcare. Period. Just get it out.
Singular purpose to drive breakthroughs in cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, and more. A unity agenda for the nation. We can do these things. It's within our power, and I don't see a partisan edge to any one of those 4 things. My fellow Americans,
people still not. There's gonna be people not standing up for cancer. Fuck that. I want cancer.
We've gathered in this sacred space.
The people not standing up,
democracy.
They are cancer.
In this capital, generation after generation of Americans have debated great questions, amid great strife, and have done great things. We fought for freedom, expanded liberty, debated totalitarianism.
It's the vaguest shit I've ever heard.
We built the strongest, freest, and most prosperous nation.
The State of the Union is cancer.
Now is the hour.
You mean like what happened in Afghanistan? Now women can't go to school anymore?
Our test of resolve
that kind of shit?
Of history itself. It is in this moment that our character of this generation is formed. Our purpose is found. Our future is forged. Well, I know this nation. We'll meet the test. Protect freedom and liberty. Expand fairness and opportunity. And we will save democracy.
Yeah, that's really accurate. Your name is also very accurate. Death on the installment plan. Right?
So what's going on?
So research money, but no money to help people who become homeless because they can't afford life-saving health care. I know too many folks who are homeless because they got cancer. That is death on the installment plan. That's what that is.
That can be defined by a single word: possibilities. So on this night, on our 245th year as a nation, I've come to report on the state of the nation, the State of the Union. And my report is this: the State of the Union is strong because you, the American people, are strong.
Don't get robbed or stabbed in the subway tonight.
We are stronger today than we were a year ago. And we'll be stronger a year from now than we are today. This is our moment to meet and overcome the challenges of our time. And we will, as one people, one America, the United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
We'll come back and be homeless and low-income veterans. Okay, that's the end of his speech.
Well, what? Go get them. Who's them?
Poor people. You go get them.
But they pretend that the poor people aren't there. So I don't know.
When it comes to fighting war, poor people are all over the place. Here's the poor people. So that was the State of the Union, nice and short and sweet, about an hour. Him he yelled at the end to make us feel good. And then that was over.
That was all the energy he had left.
You go get him. I'm going home. So
take a nap.
You go with your cardboard AK-47. You go get him. So,
again, this is one of the reasons why I hate politics so much. There's a lot of platitudes, a lot of vague words, and he said stuff and things, and more stuff. And then everybody stood up, and then they sat down, and they beat the palms of their hands against the other palm of their other hands. And that really sucked. Because you never get you think, if they mention your issue in the State of the Union, expect nothing to ever be done about it, because that's what the plan was. If there was a cause that you're passionate about, it was addressed because it was spoken about in this speech, and that's all that's going to be done about it.
The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to be a more police state, more cameras on the border, more policing strategies, more technology to further militarize the police. That's what's going to happen. Apparently the police can have even more money than some countries. Like we said, the police budget altogether in the United States is more than Ukrainian military. So they're going to make it even higher for some reason. Might as well give them nuclear weapons at this point. Give NYPD a nuclear missile. So
a briefcase bomb.
Give them a full warhead. Fuck that. So it's just wild to see that speech. Pretty much half the speech was like, if we just said universal health care would solve a lot of problems, but instead it's just about research this and,
and we're going to fund that. But what about helping people? Like you can, oh yeah, we can solve cancer, but it'll cost you several generations of your family's economic solvency.
So he said something vaguely about taxing that, instead of poor people being taxed crazy percentage of their income compared to rich people who get taxed nothing. I'm talking about 1% of the people who like make so much money that it would take generations for them to spend any of that money. Let's tax them a little bit more. But poor people, 40%, 35% tax rate. Crazy. So we have Twitch. People are really lit in Twitch right now.
You already know Waffles is around.
So we have Def on the Storming plan saying flag waving, European flags, of course. Yeah, flags in solidarity for people fleeing Somalia. Somalia, Yemen, Syria, all these places being bombed and shit, but no one's waving flags for those fucking people. Fuck those people. We even have a situation. We have Nigerian, Indian students who are fleeing Ukraine right now, having guns pointed at them by Ukrainian police officers because there's only white Ukrainians can board the trains. But no one's talking about that. So it's interesting to see that when it comes to war in America, that's where we're good at that. We're good to all stand up and clap when we need to give shit to fuck people up. We're good with that. When it comes to helping people, it's a bipartisan issue. We need to debate it. We need to vote.
We need more research first before we do anything about shit that is well documented.
But when it comes to giving people missiles and guns, give it. I can't wait to give them guns. I can't wait.